And Brad Gray, Racing New South Wales and Sky Racing form analyst, joins us on the phone to discuss some of the key events and the better bets from Rosehill. Good morning, Brad. What presents today?
Yeah, good morning, Jason. We're a heavy 8 at the moment. There is a little bit of hope around that we will get to a 7, but we had an unexpected little drizzle this morning, which might just keep us in the heavy range. But as we know, Rosehill generally plays pretty fairly, so expect the winners to be coming from everywhere.
The 7th race on the card is the Winter Stakes at 10 minutes past 5 New Zealand time, betting on tab.co.nz with Extine, the $5.50 favourite. First hand at 6, a little bit of competition and betting by the looks of this market. Brad, how did you see the race?
Yeah, $5 the field, isn't it? It's a tricky little race for punters to work out. I'm not going to ignore the obvious here in Gouloir. Now, the Civic Stakes does look the right reference. We're going to have a look at that replay now, and you can see Gouloir making a long, sustained run down the outside. The beauty about this horse is that not only he loves the wet track. Rachel King came back after this day and said, it's been a while since I've had one travel so sweetly in heavy ground, but he's versatile enough to take up a spot. So I think drawn 1, he'll be able to settle somewhere midfield, maybe even a little bit forward of that. And if he gets the right split, I think he's certainly very hard to beat. You can see Nicky's goal there for Gary Portelli was a little bit unlucky. I doubt it would have beaten Gouloir, but it certainly would have finished right on its heels had it got clear in halfway down the straight there. 53 kilos on its back, and it's a mare that absolutely thrives in these wet conditions and hasn't been going any better. This is just flying, this horse. So I think it certainly has to be respected as well. I do have Extine somewhere thereabouts. She is a classy horse coming back from the Tiara. Chris Waller's now got the job of ticking her over. She's probably close to the breeding barn, but she's pretty classy, as I say. But I think Gouloir's a bet in the race. I'm surprised that the bookies are being as generous as they are.
Yeah, it's an interesting sort of race. Obviously, we saw the key form reference with many runners coming out of that to this event today, the Winter Stakes. How about an earlier race on the card, race number 5, looking at the market for the ADC Foundation Handicap? Spiritual Pursuit has come up an odds-on favourite. Are we lobbing on this? Are we attacking?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are. We're attacking it with a bit of aggression. I think this looks the lock of the day. You probably don't need me to come on and tell the punters that, but I think this horse has to go backwards to be losing this race, and that's the profile you want when you're taking the short odds about these kind of horses. Deity is the second favourite, and Spiritual Pursuit's already handed that horse pretty easily there last time out. So you can see that Invictus Salute form from last time looks solid. Invictus Salute came out and won last week. Now you look through this horse's form and you can see a second there, third up last campaign in the Spark of Life at Rosehill. That was over 1,100 metres on a soft deck. Very similar circumstances here in that day, split baller and profits thumb. So if she reproduces anything like that, she should be winning and winning pretty comfortably. Gets the claim of Sam Clinton, so looks really well treated with 57 kilos straight to the front. Loves the wet. I'd be surprised if she got rolled here.
I know that's the one of your main win bets for the day, but for that race, would you be tempted by a Quinella with Deity?
Yeah, they do look the 2, which goes to show how much of a stranglehold that Spiritual Pursuit has on the race. The other one to probably factor in is Miss X Factor up the top. I think 1,200 metres back to 11 is certainly in her favour because she just was a little bit vulnerable there at the end of 12, her last couple of runs.
So race number 5, number 2, Spiritual Pursuit, the best bet. How about other plays on the Rosehill card for you, Brad?
Yeah, there's a couple. I think race 2, number 2, Face Toss, will have little trouble turning tables on Call Me Royal from last time out to the 1,500 metres in a race with a little bit more tempo. Should get the job done. I think he's going the right way and he'll go on to much bigger and better things. And he's a pretty handy horse on breeding. It suggests that the mile's going to be right up his alley. Waking moment for Chris Waller. Now, I think you have to try and ignore the fact that it's 1 from 20. Chris Waller's only had the horse for 2 starts, and they've both been really good. There's a real sense of timing about her third up, and she sneaks in with 51 kilos. I think of all the horses with a sense of timing about it on the Rosehill card, she's the one. And one a little bit odd, so we can keep up our sleeve for later, is Mahalunga. He's a class horse in the race, hence why he's got 60 kilos. He comes down to 57 after the claim of Brock Ryan. That's race 8, number 1. But you go through his form last campaign, and it was very good. He beat Special Missile only 2.5 lengths of trekking at Scone one day in listed grade when he started $6. So we haven't seen him for a couple of months. He put up lane there after his last run at Randwick, but you could take him on trust, and he reproduces anything like we saw last campaign. I think he's going to be right in the finish at double-figure odds.
He's certainly got a handy record on slow tracks and has placed on heavy before. Brad Gray, Racing New South Wales and Sky Racing form analyst, we thank him for his time.